Dishonesty is all over Uganda. You get a brother who is struggling in the village, and you tell them, you know what? I'm going to bring you to the city. Let me give you an example. I was dealing in cattle, and I had a primary school classmate whom I bumped into. And I'm like, hey! And they say, Babaku TV. I'm usually seeing you on TV. And I'm like, yeah. Man, you're doing well, but how can you help me? And I'm like, I have no job. However, let me think about something. So when I thought about venturing into cattle, buying and selling, I thought about him. And I raised him. And I called him. And I told him, you know what? I'm going to put you in charge of buying cattle. I hire the car. I give my brother cash. You go with my brother. You buy cattle.
You select.
You will select. Do you know anyone who can help you? He said, yeah. I also have a friend who was a butcher. That's that guy who was who was a butcher. So it works for me that we even have experience.
Yes.
So I would give them my brother just hold cash for them. They would go to the field. They would buy the cattle, put the cattle on the truck. They bring to the urban for sale. How much was I investing? $10,000. So they would go buy maybe a cow for, let's say, they could buy a bull for, let's say, 1.2 million. Transport finishes in like 100,000. That's 1.3. Then we would sell at 1.5, which would be 200,000 on each. So if we have 10 and we're averaging 150 to 200, we can make 1.5 million, 2 million. I told him we can do that twice a week. So it follows that we would average maybe 1.5, we would average 3 to 4 a week. And I told him, if you can actually do that, for me I already have things that are going on. I'll put you in charge. You will have to do it bigger and massive. I want to tell you that he got on board and started influencing everything. That he would talk to the people we are buying from to add in some money. Then he would tell people whom we were selling to, he would tell them the price we bought, such that they would, because remember me, I wasn't going to follow it up really. I had my brother and I had set it up for them. If it was going to be flourishing, I would have created a job for my brother and him. So what we realized, he was conniving with now the guys at the abattoir. So he would tell them, when we bought at 1.2, tell him, giving him 1.2. The reason now it would, what that would mean is that he would actually get that 1.2. It meant that if we sold at 1.2, then they would sell now. Then they would sell from 1.2 above. I would have just helped them deliver the cow. And he knew that the moment everyone says they are buying at 1.2, then I'll be like, let's get the money.
That's the price.
Yeah. Let's get, at least we've not made the loss. Let's get the money. So when we realized that that's what it was like, I told them, I'm no longer engaging, because we were making losses and we made a lot of losses. We actually lost that money. But it follows that now I can't get him engaged in any of my empire.
True.
So remember, he's hurting someone who has. If he had honestly acted, I would have said, okay, let's leave cows. Let's go into coffee. If he was successful at cows, we will now go into coffee.
Faithful in the little,
Yes,
into the bigger one.
exactly. That's Matthew 25:14-30. You get the idea? We would move. We would now leave cattle. We would go into coffee. Then later I would be asking them, guys, why don't you guys go to China? But because of dishonesty, that mindset of, I want to be rich tomorrow. Actually, not tomorrow, today.
It's taking too long.
It's taking too long. Now, the other thing I've realized is the other mindset that is making Ugandans broke. The mindset of, I can't take advice.
Oh.
If you read, I think it's in Proverbs 24, where they say, by wisdom, a house is built. You need to look for wisdom. Someone is going to guide you into something you didn't know. And there is always someone who knows. I want to tell you about I have 4 degrees, but I still consult.
Of course.
Even in real estate. When you were making me move, did I ask you about?
Yes, several times.
But look at my friends. Haji Bakalwa is also into construction and he's a builder. I would have said his knowledge he gives me is enough.
I know it all.
My dad is into real estate. I'm also into real estate. I've told you that I've met the real estate gurus. But even when I find Herbert and I realize he's into real estate, I'm like, what can I get from him? Now, notice that countries where people are advising, those countries, people get a chance to flourish. The Jim Rohns, the Brian Stacys, the Napoleon Hills, the Kiyosakis. They taught the whole entire America about financial literacy. But you come to a country like Uganda, where our whole entire curriculum, from baby to graduation day in a degree, I don't care whether it's 4 years, 5 years, or 6 years, from baby class to graduation day, there is no single mention by any teacher with any information about money. There is no curriculum for financial literacy. There is no exam for financial. There is no exercise on financial literacy. And they will tell you that everyone is studying such that they find money. How?
And do what with it.
And do what with it. Could it be possible that we can all be born and become doctors without going to medical school? Can we argue the law without being lawyers? Can we participate in Olympics without knowing how to jump hurdles? Akibua, the very first gold Uganda got. Do you know where we got the gold from? He had a trainer from Britain. If Akibua did not allow to be clay, such that the trainer turns him into a pot, we have no gold.
True.
Because in the Olympics, which were in Munich is in Germany, Akibua is black. You know what they did to him? They put him in the hardest lane, which is lane 1 for hurdles. The hardest lane is always lane 1 or the extreme lane. Because when you come running and you try to turn, the physics does not allow you to just, and now we have hurdles to jump. But because Akibua had been trained from the hills in Fort Portal by this white man who had exposure, even if Even if Akibua had been put in lane 100, 150, zip, he was ready. Because when he was training, he was put in sacks of sand and climbing a mountain. So it means the force that would pull him like the sand, he would handle it while turning. And guess what? We got the gold. He allowed to listen. Look at boxing. In boxing, the most important people, who are even more important than the boxer himself, are two individuals. The coach and someone they call a catman. What does the coach do? The coach is giving you a strategy. Because when you're boxing, you have to protect the face. How do you protect the face? By putting the gloves here. Notice that when you put gloves here, you blur and block your vision. So who is watching? The coach. So the coach looks at the strengths of your opponent, and when they ring the bell and you sit in the corner, he tells you he's swinging from the right. Do not allow his swing. Or he tells you he's hitting with the jab. Move away from the jab. Move away from the jab. But I want you to look at the boxer when he's seated and you see the instructions. He's actually not listening. He will take in very little because they have banged him. And as they bang him, the catman, the person they call the catman, is so important. When they hit you and you get a cut, the ref can stop the fight. And he says,
It's too much.
It's too much. Now the catman must be very good at his work such that he covers. That's why you see they even put they put jelly. They smear jelly to stop the blood flow. Then they press. Then they put ice. Those are the two most important people on that ring. Imagine a boxer who comes without anyone in his corner. The things they hit him with are the same problem. They hit. He comes, no catman, no advice. Then he comes back to the ring. He would lose. The point I'm making is we need to become malleable. We need to allow to become the clay, and you find your own potter. People are going to say, financial, we have very many fraudsters in the financial literacy space. And I'll say, hello, it's the same in any field. We have quack lawyers. We have quack doctors. We have quack borders. We have quack engineers. We have quack maids. We have quack for wives. We have quack for husbands. We have quack cameramen. We have quack cooks. Every field has been infiltrated. It comes back to you. Choose your financial advisor. And you say, I'll follow this guy. For example, House of Wealth has been around since 2017. A full 8 to 9 years. No case.
You're not in court addressing any case.
No court case. No police case, not anyone even on social media saying, he sold me land, I didn't get it. He sold me land, it had this. He sold me this, I had it. He gave me this advice, he's lying. No.
And those stories exist.
And
yes.
Exactly. So, I usually ask people, who are you listening to? You cannot complain that the field is full of quack people. It's you to choose. They are fake shoes. But do you have fake shoes? It's because when you went, you say, those are fake shoes. You bought the nice shoes. They are fake fruits. There is even fake money. So we cannot say we do not listen to motivational speakers because they are fake. They will always be those. But I also usually know that Matthew 7:14 is to the effect that the road to life is so narrow. Because the Bible says, narrow is the way to life, and few find it. But the road to destruction is few. The people who are talking about information to help Ugandans escape,
Is narrow.
but the people who are giving out information for Ugandans to have, because if the brain is your processor, what are you feeding it with? So you see a video of people dancing, people cracking jokes, you smile, which is a good thing. But then you also see people spreading rumors. Then you also see people who are fighting. Then you also see people who are into politics. Then you also see people. So for you, at the end, your timeline, if we follow it on TikTok, it has no message on money. But you want to escape from poverty. But your diet of viewership has been laughing, anger, rumor mongering. Laughing, anger, rumor mongering.
And you bought data to see that.
Exactly.
You used your money. You used your 500K.
Exactly. So that's why I told you that just you're looking at the Ugandan with the most content. I have the most content on social media. No one can beat me. Because for 5 full years, I was doing a podcast of 2 hours every Saturday. So if they go to my Facebook, they will find over 300 videos of over 1.5 hours. No one beats that. So I reached a time when I was like, I've educated the world.
I've done my part.
I've done my part. I rest. Now I will be charging, if you want, the advice. So we started with 30K per hour. Now it's 1 million an hour if you call me outside office. And if you come, you want to see me in office, it's 10,000 per minute. So if it's 60 minutes, it's 600,000. And yet I tell people, I'm on leave for a full year. Because I can. But the main idea is because I know those now who want will say, I saw this and I loved it. Where can I find you? They will even be happy to pay 1 million an hour because they know the conversation is to save them 50 million. You make one financial mistake, you're in court, you're in divorce, you're in this. When we add up the total, you're losing 200 million. But the advisor who would have advised you on debt was asking for 600K or 1 million maximum. Financial literacy requires you also to be financially intelligent. Where you say, if I give a lawyer 1 million to give me an agreement, it saves the transaction.
Yes.
But people don't have lawyers. And you find them writing agreements in Uganda. Inze, Musisi, Luziza, Luchamuzi, Sikakidwa, Tewaja Nambye, Etakayange, Ziwede. And you ask them, okay, it's good you wrote the agreement, but do you know that in this country, a Luganda agreement can't suffice in court? It has to be translated to English. Do you know how much they charge to translate an agreement? You have to go to the School of Languages. They will see your agreement, it's 4 pages, and they will say 700,000. Then they will translate it, and you will see very many gaps. Oh, we did not include what to do when he fails to finish the money. We did not include when to get into the building. So, what would it have costed if you had given a lawyer to protect you with 1 million? And they put all that. For you, you sit this side. That's why I tell you that this money thing is deliberate. When I find someone struggling with money, I know. Galatians 6:7 says, God cannot be fooled. You will be reaping what you are sowing. There is an effort we will always put in to go to brokenness. the world's largest manufacturer of alcohol, hired me one time to train bar owners. And I would go to the bar and I'll ask the bar owner, let me have a book where you record the transactions. And they will say, I have no book. And I'm like, okay. You want to give birth without getting pregnant. Getting pregnant is a condition precedent for giving birth. Or you want to go to heaven without first dying. Because dying is a condition precedent for heaven. If you believe it, that's the system.
Yes.
So, how are you wanting to be wealthy in your business without records? How will you know the most selling beer? How will you know what your suppliers owe you? How will you know the record of
Inventory.
inventory? And they used to not have. Now, those who had records, I would say, let me see how much your customers owe you. And they would open. And you see a small kafunda having people who owe to a tune of 1 million. And you're like, why are you giving out beer on credit? And they say, these are our customers. These are the people who usually come. When you do not give them, they do not come. And you're like, okay. When you do not give them, they do not come. But those few who come, you are selling to see the profit. Do you realize that when they just come and you sell them and they do not give you the money, you've not made the sale? They could wake up, but they could not understand that 1 million was actually a lot of money until I converted the 1 million into the profit margin on every bottle. I was like, how much do you get off a bottle of beer? And it would be like 500 shillings. So I will do the math. Let me try to get my calculator here and show you. I will do the math and say that if you have 1 million shillings, which they owe you, and you divide it by 500 shillings, you will have to sell 2,000 bottles of beer. If that person goes without coming back, you will have to sell 2,000 bottles.
To come to evil.
Exactly. But what is 2,000 bottles? We divide by 25. 80 crates. Then they will wake up and say,
Then you ask him, how many crates are you selling a day?
exactly. So when will you sell 80 crates to recover that 1 million? Then they will wake up. So it follows that the money talk cannot change. This same conversation, we can have it after 20 years and we won't change a thing. It will be, did you keep records? Did you sell on credit or cash? Were you honest in the transactions? In the Holy Quran, I think the longest chapter in the Quran is Surat Al-Baqarah. Ayat 261 says, those who use money in the way that Allah approves are like a seed which has 7 spikes, and every spike bringing 100 seeds. So you realize that the Quran is telling us that actually if we appropriate money well, it can only grow. And it's so easy to grow the money. That's why I told you that money is going to be a visitor. Because when you get money, those small words, let me see whether I have a note here. The note on the money, there is some lesson to learn. the small words under Bank of Uganda, very tiny words, but the most important words. They say legal tender here, legal tender for 10,000 shillings for Bank of Uganda. What that means is, if Bank of Uganda woke up one day and said that 10,000 shilling note is no longer to be used, none of us will use it. So they declare what is legal tender. But also there is some very important message there. They say legal tender for 10,000 shillings for Bank of Uganda. It means even this note belongs
To Bank of
Bank of Uganda. If the note belongs to Bank of Uganda, it means they are in charge of printing it. They are also in charge of declaring its worth. They are also in charge of recalling and giving it back. What does that imply? It actually implies that we do not have to worry about the money. Someone is in charge of printing it. So I do not agree when people start saying sente zibuze. The real argument would be, this year I have not attracted money. That's what you have to say. Your declaration should be, I want to tell you, friends, this year I have failed to attract money. Then your friends will tell you, by the way, this year I attracted money. Because remember, money won't be where it can't be. It is a visitor. There is a reason why Britons came to Uganda first for colonization. There is a huge reason. Number one, they were welcomed. That's where it starts. Why did they come to Uganda? Number one, they were welcomed. Where they went and there were hostilities, they didn't settle. That's why you see they struggled with Bunyoro. Hostility. They didn't settle. So, money wants to come to be here, but we are hostile. It won't settle. There are places you go to and you're like, this place I can't. I already told you, there are places you go to and you're like, after 2 days, we won't be here.
True.
You land in Russia during winter. You just tell the family, guys,
I'll be back
we
tomorrow.
will be back. And that's how I pursued these things of how can we teach the people. The people also have to do something such that you remember in Exodus when Moses was helping the Israelites come from Egypt to go. It's mentioned that they reached a place and they reached that sea. And those people almost killed Moses. They told him, but you man, you're not serious. Why did you bring us to die from the wilderness? Should have left us
In Egypt.
in Egypt. Such that we died, at least we will be buried next to our ancestors. You see that mindset? A mindset of choosing to leave poverty, but you still prefer that you would rather be back in poverty. If you had been a slave for 500 years, and I do not care whether that story is true or not, we just have to draw lessons. If you have been poor for over 10 years, then you should sit and say, poverty is a prison. It has denied me a very nice car. It has denied me a very nice woman. It has denied me a very nice neighborhood. It has denied me to eat the food I should have eaten. I do not want anything to do with poverty. So when they show you that now this is where you will have to go to escape, you do not start on that journey and you be like, but at least I should have been poor. While poor, I used to sleep. You cannot be saying that.
True.
We've decided
You have to commit.
We have to commit. So I've seen that mindset in Ugandans where they want very quick